Hello, World Series of Free Enterprise followers. Welcome to another qualifier round, this time the 2v2s. I am a Muppets in space, and with me here, new timer, but not a short timer, Dark Kobold. DK, how you doing?
Good. I am excited to see this race. I'm excited to see what Tarasu has rolled for us, and excited to see how our runners handle it.
Absolutely. We got two fantastic teams here. Mystic Cheese, the ladies, Dravenheart and Pause RPG, versus Total Eclipse of the Rex, which is Blue Eclipse and Rex Rawl. The boys, it's the battle of the genders, everybody. Boys versus girls. It is a classic. Dark Kobold, what are we looking for here in this? Like, tell me a little bit about these 2v2 flags that we're looking at.
So it's going to be pretty interesting. We're going to see the runners on each side diverge pretty quickly because they're going to be covering ground for each other. Now they can communicate via voice, and here they are getting the Sand Ruby. And they're able to share information just via voice. And so that's why right now you're only hearing streaming music and not streaming sound from one of our runners. So very quickly, you're going to see them, which are the best items to get. And since it's T4, we're going to see a lot of treasure checks.
It is indeed T4. You got your chances at adamants, Artemis bows, crystal swords, white lances, all and sundry. But we also have the flip side, the second edge to the sword, which is the K4. That's right. Your key items can be dang near anywhere. Boss locations that are standard, your summon monsters, your moon bosses, and then the trapped chests all over this game can also hold the key to advancement.
We got a pretty interesting start here. I mean, these are not great starting characters. They can be, well, Rydia can be questionable, but Rosa for sure will be a great ending character. And I don't imagine anybody dropping her. But both of them can be very hard to start, so they're going to be hoping for some good items here in the early game.
And we see Rex Rawl and Dravenheart at the top. They're going after the Damsayan treasure chests, while Blue Eclipse and Pause RPG down in the bottom are going after the treasures down in Barren Town. Kind of splitting up. I have a feeling that they're just kind of communicating to each other exactly what they're going to find there and whether or not it's even worth it to hit one of those locations.
Our first Hobbs character check from Rex. And that's a good one to see.
So Blue's Eclipse and Pause RPG going into the Summoner's Town. What is the name of that town?
The Mist Village?
Oh, it's just Village of Mist. Okay, yeah. I thought it had a more, like, specific name than Village of Mist, but I guess it is just Village of Mist. Rex Rawl getting into our first boss battle right off the bat. Finding Yang, or Yang, Mount Hobbs, and also finds Kane at Mount Hobbs as well, which is going to significantly increase the pop behind that particular party.
Oh yeah, I'm sure the runners are going to be very happy to find Kane. If they find an early Avenger sword or an early really great spear, they're going to have no problems getting through this early game.
Now, just like you mentioned, Rosa has a pretty tough starting stat pool to work with. Kane doesn't exactly have much to start with either. With that basic spear, you can see his jump is doing about 93 damage. 60 on that last one. But as he gains levels, his curve goes up steeply, way faster than Rosa's. So you're going to see a lot more damage output from him real quick.
That Pause on the bottom right just picked up one of the two twins. But we'll check in a moment.
Oh yeah, we have a I believe a Palom sighting. Is that it? No, that's Porum. I can never remember which one's which.
Oh, they're so hard to tell. I mean,
Yeah, yeah. I just
valid.
now saw the green cape, so that's Porum. Found Porum. Went ahead and picked him up and picked her up in Kaipo. Gets in the airship, and now we've got a little hesitation. Blues Eclipse is actually going to make his way to Troya town, as a matter of fact, for a little bit of shopping. And that's oftentimes what you see out of these free enterprise seeds, is a whole lot of looting treasure in the beginning. You sell off what you absolutely do not need or don't think you're going to need, and for a whole lot of gold, and then you go on a shopping spree. So you can get things like life potions, which we see Blues Eclipse picking up right there. We also saw Star Veils available in that particular item shop. Here in the other item shop, you have Thor Rages. So there's a plethora of other things that you're looking for, but typically speaking, it is a item binge.
And the interesting part about this item shopping is you also want to be communicating to your partner which shops they have to visit and which shops they should avoid. And so there's a lot of early game communication when somebody goes on their shopping trip. And the question becomes, who's going to go on shopping duty? Who's going to go on all the different parts? And we also have Rex picking up the Titan spell using Rydia at the base of Hobbs.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Another newer feature of Free Enterprise flag set, where you can have Rydia learn a random summon from where she would normally learn Fire 1 at the base of Hobbs with that wall of ice. And it can also include summons that you wouldn't normally see. I've seen Cockatrice there. I've seen the Bomb summon there as well. Very strange stuff that you can get.
Kind of a funny one to get early.
Oh, Titan? Titan's a great one to get early. AoE earth damage, and really
sure.
high-powered one, too. You can do upwards of 1,500 to 2,000 damage with just a few levels on that one. We've got our first foray into a boss location, though, as Dravenheart makes her way down into the Antlion Cave. See her doing a little equipping right at the save location just before heading off to the actual boss fight. Be interesting to see what she ends up finding. And Rex Rawl, right on her heels, right over there on the top left-hand corner, going right into the Antlion Cave as well.
Rex might have a slightly easier time since he's cleared out and picked up Kane. Also has that Titan spell, so it'll be battle. But somewhere it appears Draven managed to pick up an Artemis bow for Rosa, and so that's going to be dealing a ton of damage.
Yeah, it looks like there was an Artemis bow here. It looks like the Bahamut summon was also in the Antlion Cave, so it looks like Titan was rendered pretty well into obsolescence. Once Rydia is able to get 60 MP, we won't really need that Titan spell anymore. And what do we got for a boss fight here? Ooh. We've got Odin.
That's going to be scary. We're going to have to see if... Oh, he's got a Stardust Rod as well. She's got a Stardust Rod, so she's going to make quick work of that Odin. And raising of the sword, most likely.
Stardust is a wonderful, wonderful weapon to have there. Instant access to what you would normally have out of the Stardust item. AoE non-elemental damage somewhere in the vein of 450 to 600, sometimes even 800 if you can get to it. And wham bam, we're moving on. Odin goes down and Dravenheart goes up.
Man, what a great item to see early. It really helps when you're making that Sylph Cave dive to have that item, because sometimes you just don't want to make the item or the dive until you have the pan. Really cuts down on having to make the hard decisions sometimes.
Now it'll be really interesting to see if Draven stalls on going to Fabul before she goes down into the underground, or with this flag set, if she doesn't want to risk it and just decides to go to the double dip anyway, because you never know where you're going to find your underground progression. I remember running one of these seeds yesterday where underground progression was at the Ogopogo spot on the moon. So anything's possible.
Get some really painful seeds when items are so distributed through the world.
And Draven's going up the backside of Mount Hobbs. Gonna find Yang right there and get her cane. And Paw's RPG is going down into the Antline Cave right now. Heard tale of a pan and went, yes, yes, please. Also, that Bahamut summon right there that she picked up on that first floor. Pretty nice. Pretty nice. Especially in the beginning, rendering most of your boss fights pretty trivial.
I have to imagine that when they're communicating, they're definitely saying, you need to clear all of Artemis Bow, you're going to get yourself a Bahamut summon.
Yeah, you got your Stardust Rod in there as well. I saw a Dancing Dagger, which is pretty nice in the interim, but it just does not compare to the damage output of a Stardust Rod. AoE is the 3 letters that we like to see.
Oh, and also gets past walls, gets past all that fun stuff.
Absolutely. So Rexrel is going up Fabul, ignoring all of the shops and the treasures right beforehand, thinking he's probably going to get that on his way back down after the fight. Let's see what we got here in Fabul.
Ourselves a nice dark elf.
Ooh.
Should be really easy.
So in this particular spot, you got about 2,000 hit points to deal with, like 1,800 to 2,000 hit points worth of damage to do to end the fight right there. Not a very powerful spot as far as magic or physical attacks are concerned, because this is where you normally see the gauntlet. So it's a pretty simple fight. I've seen some pretty rude things in this area, but it's nothing that a Stardust Rod and a cane can't handle.
Absolutely.
We got our me change!
Blues is going on a shopping trip and going straight to Baron. So you gonna go ahead and do the
Well, as a matter of fact, Draven's actually doing the very same thing. Going up into Baron Inn, looks like Draven's thinking about doing that Baron Inn fight. You know, Murasame and Cure 3, and yep. Oh, no, there's nothing in that pot. Oh, she's noping out of it.
cards in that spot, which, if they found hourglasses, should be fairly simple, but
Well, also, there's only so many hit points that you have to deal with there. The Baron Guards have, I believe, 250 hit points each or something like that. 200 to 250. Not a particularly strong encounter, so one Stardust Rod renders that pretty well trivial. It's who's behind them that actually matters in that. Never know what you're going to find behind that first boss. It may look easy, but then what if you find, I don't know, Octomam back there? Stupid fast, and hits like a truck in that spot.
off. So we could see something really nasty, like a Wyvern or a Golbat blocking your progression to...
Well, we're actually going to find out right now. Blue's Eclipse just entered the fight. Kane lands, takes out that guard.
And we've got another guard, Bagan.
All right. Different kind of guard, though. This is a guard with arms with snakes for arms, really. Oh, really rough opening attack right there, taking Rydia down right off the bat. You can see this can be a really problematic spot for a physical damage output. Yeah, Blue's Eclipse is going to reset right out of that fight. Baigan is no joke in that spot, especially when you only have about 250 hit points worth of protection on your end. Now we've got some regrouping and rethinking. This is an interesting thing we're watching now. You see more hesitation. Runners typically don't sit and think for a second. They're usually just go, 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 go. But Blues Eclipse was holding fast for just a second. Wonder if Blues Eclipse was asking a question of Mr. Rex Rawl.
We're both kind of going to the same place, or we're both about to make the ordeals dive and then round.
Maybe neither of them are going to make the ordeals dive.
Also always throws you off when you have a wipe. Like, you never feel great after it, so it can kind of throw off your strategies, what you're thinking. You have a plan in your head of you're going to follow the next item you see, and then you take that wipe and it's like, oh, I got to regroup, think about what items I have, where I need to go, all of that stuff. And imagine that the wipe probably is going to get in their head just a little bit.
It is definitely a battle within yourself to try to keep yourself steady once you take that reset. It can be a little tough. See, Rex Rawl buying a bunch of cabins and then 10 illusions. Thinking maybe those illusions will come in handy for something, say, like a Baigan fight.
And it would. Being able to dodge those hits would make life a lot easier.
So it looks like Draven and Parz RPG are both doing the Dark Elf fight at Fabul. Very interesting. Blues Eclipse is doing something that I absolutely love right here. Diving in the old Eblon Castle. There are 3 trapped chests here, as well as a boatload of other treasures that can be gotten. I think somewhere in the vein of 20 treasures and 3 trapped chests, something like that. This can net you quite a haul. You see, one of those trap chests right now, the 2 Black Cat Lamia fight. All of these fights are susceptible to that stop from your hourglasses. You just have to get through that first wave of attacks, and you're in the money right there.
Also going to be really helpful for them to boost up those levels, so they're not going to be having so many problems with bosses. This is a lot of early game XP. Characters up a good 10 levels, and then all of a sudden these bosses that seem so difficult are good.
Speaking of Octomam, Rex Rawl has made his way up Mount Ordeals, finds Octomam in the Mylan Gast location. It's not the worst spot to see Octomam in. Physical damage fairly low, magic damage medium in that location. It's not going to be too bad. Plus, every hit that you do on Octomam will lower the speed of the boss right there. So, pretty good stuff. Pretty good stuff.
Rawl gets out of these trap chests. Are just behind Rex, going up Mount Ordeals.
Yeah, Dravenheart taking her way up Mount Ordeals, while Blues Eclipse is hammering away at this Lamia fight, and there he goes. That's an awful lot of experience to gain right out of the gun. Rex Rawl finds one of the more annoying things in the Island Z encounter. Dr. Lugay.
But you know that it's going to be pretty hard to fail this fight.
It will be. It's just a very strange and kind of annoying thing because you've got 2 fights in one right there at a back attack location. It's a bane of a runner's existence because you have to sit there and wait through the attacked from behind text box twice. Worst, of course, being the Fabul Gauntlet in that location. See, Blues Eclipse picked up some cat claws from their trap chest fight.
Not going to get much screen poison, though, luckily, because they're getting a full heal right after this battle.
That is one of the boons about this particular fight, is that you get a full heal before and after the Dark Knight Cecil fight.
Also, because it divides up the HP among the 4 different possible bosses, each individual one ends up a lot easier to take down. Which also, of course, when you go to his vanilla spot, the boss there ends up with a ton of HP.
Yeah, the Dr. Luge spot can be a little bit annoying, but one of the good things about the Dr. Luge spot is complete lack of magic power behind it. So if you see something like Golbez right there, even with his virus attack, the one that you really, really dread, it only does about 320 damage. We got Blue's Eclipse dropping down those hourglasses. This is the one encounter that can get a little bit tricky. You can get whacked hardcore by any number of those skulls or the stale man in that encounter, because they each still get one attack even when you do throw down that hourglass. So you're just hoping that they don't take down Rosa. You want to keep everybody on their feet so they can get that experience.
Oz just took it down with a single Bahamut.
Rex Rawl is now going into the temple at the top of Mount Ordeals. We get to find out what the reward is. Is it a key item? It is not. It's Masamune. A little bit disappointing. Especially with T4. It would stand to reason that you could find something like that in any number of any of these chests. Pretty disheartening. But if you find Tella has his expanded spell list. If you find Cecil is the paladin now. And you just beat 3 bosses, which is an extra 300 hit points and an extra 9 spells for Fusoya if you happen upon him. So there are some pluses to having done Ordeals. But at the end of the day, if I was Rex Rawl, I'd be saying to Blues Eclipse, don't go up Ordeals. It's not worth it.
But Oz got out of that chest.
Looks like it could have been a ninja sword? No. What is that? What do you got out of it?
Oh, and Oz just found the hook.
Oh.
Given how spread out the chests are, I think that's gonna be our underground access.
Yeah, it's a pretty safe bet.
I think the only thing we haven't seen so far is what's at the end of Baron and what's in the Fire Dog chest at Tower of Zot. Otherwise, I think that's going to be it. One of those 2 locations opens up more.
Well, now, here's the interesting question that they're going to have to ask. Is, do they just take one person to go down and hook, while the other person scours the overworld? Or do they both run with the hook and go?
No, it definitely leaves a big open question, because if it ends up that this is their only underworld access to the Darkness Crystal, they're both going to want to have that underworld access as soon as.
So there's still a whole bunch of other places to check. Well, actually, no, not really. There's just the Fire Dog chest, isn't there?
Fire Dog, Baron, and actually now there's one chest on the way to the underground as well, the 2 Stalemen.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and the 4 Mad Ogre fight inside of the tower as well.
Interestingly, you can get that fight after the big battle, which would be really funny if that got them the magma key.
Yeah, these seeds do have a tendency to troll you a little bit in those regards. Just minor league trolling. No big deal. So we see Rex Rawl going after that Baigan again. This time fortified with illusions.
Raven gonna go straight over to pick up that hook. I have to imagine that's gonna be everybody. Back to Baron instead.
Well, Rex Rawl is about to answer a big question right here. Is what's behind our good pal Edward and the Baron Inn? One Bahamut takes care of the whole thing.
That's an exciting item to see with the character we just got. At the same time, that is some entertaining placement by the seed.
That is a fantastic thing to find right there. For those of you who are not familiar, like I wasn't until about last week, you can equip the spoon on Edward for max damage. So that is an insane combination that you got right there. Yes, he's still a little bit squishy, but he can really rock out that damage. I've seen him do upwards of 4,500 to 5,000 damage in the Zeromus fight with that spoon. Every shot, almost as good as a crystal sword.
So it should be noted that that was a feature highly requested of Free Enterprise to make Edward somewhat useful. And so that is not in the vanilla game, but is interface added just because the fans demanded.
Boardface is always known for giving the fans what they want. The spoon word seed is in full swing now, and we've got ourselves a spoony bard. Rex Rawl's gonna go up and grab himself some life potions, probably some star veils, I want to say. Doesn't have enough money for that, but has plenty of items to sell, so that's not going to be a problem. Might as well sell that Murasame.
Raven is making the play into Eblin.
That's right. Draven's gonna find hard pressed to get through this fight. This is a very nasty spot for Baigan. Baigan decides, yep, and there it is. Baigan decides to snipe Rydia. That is over. Ugh. Exact damage on Rosa to take her out and take that wipe.
It looks like they're going. Total Eclipse is going for the strategy that you talked about. It looks like he might be doing the Hive of Zot.
Yeah. Rex Rawl's going into Troya Castle. Gonna grab the 9 treasures that are available to him right now. You don't have access to the treasure house that you would normally have access to with the Earth Crystal from the priestesses, because you don't have the Earth Crystal right now. But there are 8 treasure chests in the far right area, and in the center one, that one little pot right there. And you can get all sorts of stuff. So Rex Rawl is going to go loot those chests, see if there's anything worthwhile in there. An Artemis bow and a wizard robe might actually be nice. Masamune and a wizard helmet. And then the dwarf axe. And the dwarf axe might actually be the selling point right there. It depends on what kind of agility anchor strats you're going to go for. But a dwarf axe is really nice because it's a back row item for Cecil and Kane and Sid as well.
Blue's Eclipse just picked up an adamant armor somewhere in Cave Eblin and just put it on his cane.
Well, that's going to trivialize a good majority of trap chests. When you find that adamant armor, that makes this particular set of seeds a lot easier to deal with. A lot of these treasure chest fights are physical damage fights. There are very few of them that are based entirely out of magic damage. And so you find that adamant armor, and you can get him in the back row. He'll take 1 damage from everything. You could zerk him and go for pretty much every one of these fights, and it makes access to all of the trap chests that much better. Here we see a ninja sword and a Murasame as well. This is a seed that is begging for edge with all of those swords and a ninja shirt.
Gotten enough equipment that this is as it can be sometimes. Artemis bows.
Begging for Baigen. Not so, Natara. Not so. You don't have to beg for Baigen. You get him right there. And it looks like Pause RPG got through the Baigen fight, so has her Spoonie Bard as well.
Of CPU in the root.
Ooh, CPU in the Rubicon spot, and we have a Sid in the Edge spot. Sid is an interesting character here. A favorite of agility anchoring when Cecil's not in the party. You can get him to a fairly decent amount of hit points and levels, and have naturally 14 agility, which is that strange magic number that everyone seems to want for the center person in the Zeromus fight.
Looks like
Also, kind of a jack of all trades for equipment. Can equip hammers, can equip a good majority of axes, and also a lot of people really like to equip bows and arrows on Sid, which is helpful because that gives him the back row flag.
that CPU is not going to be an easy fight. And
Yeah, CPU is going to be a bit of a tedious fight, but Rosa being there makes it viable, at least. It's going to be a long fight for sure. So while Blues is diving down, we see Rex Rawl went up and is looking for that trap chest fight and finds it. Be interested to see what he gets for that. In fact, they're both in a trap chest fight now, as Blues Eclipse has found the Mad Ogre fight down in the Upper Babil location.
Have the darkness crystal from the flame dog.
Whoa!
Making that dive. Oh, now we have a real divergence. Are we going to see Rex just go straight to the moon while Blues cleans out the underworld? And the other question is, what's this going to mean for Mystic Cheese? Are they going to want to even do that, or are they both going to go underground? Because most people aren't going to want to make that first dive into Tower of Zot with so much of the rest of the world open to them, and knowing that the magma key is probably not going to be in Zot.
Well, it's not going to be much of a point at all if Mystic Cheese doesn't even know it's there, because neither of them have done that particular Flame Dog dive. It'll be interesting to see if one of them actually goes up to the Tower of Zot to do that. Rex Rawl is also doing a boss check right here. Finds the elements in the Mega Sisters location. I wonder if Rex Rawl forgot that he doesn't have the Earth Crystal.
Man, he could also just be looking for the D-Mist to get that potential additional key item. And if he thinks he might end up coming back here anyway, clears this boss out. I mean, if he finds the D-Mist, he's already made a killer play by going here while his partner heads to the underground. So it'll be interesting to see what their plan is now that they can completely diverge routes.
Well, they have the entirety of the world. Got the underworld via the hook, and they've got the darkness crystal via the flame dog. So it's pretty much the moon and the earth are both their respective oysters. When you have that many choices, you can actually think yourself into a circle, which is why it's nice to have a partner. I think Rex Rawl just realized that it doesn't have the Earth Crystal. There it is. Yep. Whoops. I believe that might have been a boss check, though.
That tells us what is going to be at the end of Castle, and it also tells you that you can get a second cane. Characters is allowed. current flag set, so they could have 2 Canes going into Zor.
There's Blue's Eclipse going to that King Queen Eblon spot right now. Here it comes. We've got a semi-free fight here. You got the 3 Dark Imp fight. This one's a particularly interesting one because you've got them all vulnerable to your hourglasses. Coffins also work on them.
Guys, we haven't seen him throw an hourglass out yet.
I wonder if Blue's Eclipse doesn't know that they're susceptible. Well, at this juncture, it doesn't even matter, though, because Blue does have that adamant armor on Kane. Put Kane in the front row and give him a Blizzard Spear, and he can go ham.
That's actually good to see. Wyvern.
Whoa, hello, Wyvern.
Oh, we won't be encountering that nasty boss in a much more difficult location. Like, Rex is actually trying to clear out and just make sure that there are no Demas hanging out boss fights that you otherwise have no interest in doing.
I really like that play, actually. Checking the Octomam spot, checking the Demas spot while the other person does the standard dive. I really like that. That's using your creativity, I feel.
Just a great all-around play, because, I mean, you can end up in a seed and totally forget those spots.
And here's another really, really tough thing that you could see in other spots that is rendered trivial by being in the Octomam spot. A Dark Knight Cecil. Boy, can that be a pain in a rough spot. See him in the Pale Dim spot, he'll do 800 damage a shot and be impossibly fast. I've seen him down in this particular Rubicin spot that Blue's Eclipse is at right now. He can wreck you for about 500 to 600 a shot. Good to see him where he can do almost no damage to you.
Pretty interesting, the strat that going for. He's not given a care in the world to Globe killing off his characters, which are reviving them fairly quickly to counteract the Globe. But it's also once he resummons those orbs, Mazer can take down your characters fairly quickly.
Yeah, there's that recover, and you'll be in for a world of hurt here. Ran out of MP, too. He always gets one of those remedies off. 2100, and now you're back to square one.
That definitely counteracted the damage that...
I wouldn't say it's a bad play. I think it's an impatient play, for sure. But sometimes the most impatient plays can be the ones that pay off the best.
And chat is loving our Mega Man Sid. He looks pretty cool in that nice blue outfit.
Yes. Clad in all blue and all about the mechanisms, Mega Man Sid is the hero that we need.
That 2100 heal is really gonna slow him down.
Yeah, we just saw 3 of those go off in the time that guy got rezzed. I think that pretty much brought CPU's hit point total back to full. Goes ahead and throws down another Berserk. Gonna get Sid into the mix. Already got Rydia in the mix. It looks like this is full Berserk and go. I've never seen full Berserk and go with a party this diverse.
Have our answer. Oh, maybe.
Well, this is
the
a
big whale.
half. Globe 199 takes down Sid and Rydia. Thankfully, you're only gonna see 2 Globe 199s come out. Then there's that recover.
I wonder what Rex is planning. He's got the whale now, and a giant of Babel dive. There's one trapped chest in here that needs checking, and also ending. This is going to be a...
I like this play a lot. I absolutely like this play. It's such an obscure trapped chest that can really come up and bite you. Do the check of the last arm chest inside of the Giant of Babel. You have to be really careful when you do this, though, because last arm has two innate abilities and then a counter ability. It counters magic damage with beam. Uses an ability called Magnet, which is basically just a really, really rough stop spell that almost never wears off. And then, when it gets down to about 1,000 hit points or less, it explodes for the remainder of its hit points in an area of effect damage on you. And Rex Rawl's maximum hit point character is Kane with 571. There is the possibility of a full party wipe here from that fission. We'll see if this pays off.
I wonder if he's also going to take the opportunity to do one of the better grind. A lot of people going for the Mac Giant grind. Ending, we might see something like that, just to those levels from easy XP. Doesn't have any way to cast weak on a D machine.
Okay, here comes fission. Huh. Well, that didn't hardly do anything.
I think fission only works on one character, and it looks like he is done. He is bailing from the giant. Unfortunately, I couldn't see what he got from it. But
yeah, we got a little hesitation there. Can somebody tell me what was gotten from that particular chest?
Looks like he marked on his own tracker the Earth Crystal. So...
Oh!
That opens up a whole nother location to check. This is quite the path for him. And
what's interesting about this is that Rex Rawl has already cleared most of the Tower of Zod. So this is actually a really, really quick search for him. Fairly logical, as well as an opportunity to get, I believe it's 14 or 16 treasures from the basement in Troya Castle. That is a serendipitous find, the Earth Crystal, in a very obscure chest location. Rex Rawl making a big all-in move right here. Let's see if it pays off. Meanwhile, Blues Eclipse has made it through the CPU fight and is now doing a little bit of Dwarf Castle check.
Looks like Pause is going for a more standard CPU fight, using Edward with the spoon and Kane with jumps. No berserker strategies, and just letting Rosa heal. This is kind of your more typical, nice, slow, no globes coming out.
Well, and having Edward with the spoon right there is incredibly helpful. The Blues Eclipse did not have during this fight, so it's going to make the CPU fight a little bit more manageable. Not too much slower, actually, if you're doing 2,000 damage a shot with that spoon. But yeah, it's definitely a surefire way to get through it. It's tried, true, and effective. And Lady Dravenheart going after her Spoony Bard right up there in the top right-hand corner. Taking care of the guard fight. Gonna try her hand at Bigan. So now I'm curious because Rex Rawl is in a very unique position amongst the Forerunners on our restream right now, being the only person to have run through Zot. We see a Kane. I wonder who the other character is going to be. Takes a look.
We're getting a Yang.
We have a thumper party, ladies and gentlemen. We have a party of beatdownists. The fist mage himself.
Question is, which is he gonna keep now? Because he has that Edward with the spoon. He has a cane. Is he gonna keep 2 canes, or is he gonna drop 1 cane for a Yang? Is he gonna keep the spoon word? What's his strategy gonna be?
Well, he's got 2 canes right now. He went double cane. Thinking about it. Can you drop Rydia?
Seems to be a hard decision for him. Who do you keep at this point? 2 canes. I mean, you find 2 Avengers, and Romus is gonna be in a world of hurt.
Yeah.
Man, he is thinking hard about this decision.
Well, when you have the spoon and Edward, that is a source of damage that is pretty rare and hard to say no to. With your canes, you're not necessarily guaranteed a top tier sort of thing. We got cat claws for Yang, so he's got to do it, right? Well, I did not see who Rex Rawl decided to throw away in place of Yang.
One of his 2 canes, it appears. And he finds Kanazo. I'm not sure how much damage this is going to do. And, is his Rydia going to be able to interrupt those waves? Oh, looks like he had some Zeus Rages in his inventory, so he is not going to get waved.
What I'm curious about is what his endgame strategy is here. You got the Earth Crystal. You've got a really, really obscure Darkness Crystal, too. Do you continue the weird, obscure looks? Do you go Moon following this? Or do you go to the underground and follow your partner?
Imagining that he is going to want because everybody else is going to be following that hook, seeing what's there. His partner can tell him what's underground. His partner just wrapped up the first fight in the Dwarf Castle. Plague managed to get a Star Veil off on Kane, and so what happens is Plague wants all of your party to constantly have that count going, and since count gets reflected every time, Plague insistently, continually counts your character, your party standing the entire time. So that's a really heads-up play.
Well, here we see a throwaway rag of a character. That's Tella coming out in place of Rydia right there, and a French vanilla Calbrena.
Oh, and Rex got the twin harp, making this path even longer. Oh my god.
Okay, this path is now 3 key items deep. And at no point has this been an obvious path. You have to keep going, right? You have to keep following this to the bitter end.
You have to, and at the same time, who is going to be making this play?
I mean, if it pays off, Rex Rawl is clear, by and far, going to finish way ahead of everybody else.
And what a play going for that one chest in one of the most obscure spots for a single check, and it is sending him on a wild goose chase. Oh, and we found the magma key. That Pause just found it. I believe that was off the pan, so that means that the hook absolutely required to get underground.
Hook required seed to get underground. Love it. Love it, love it, love it.
Now, the problem for Rex is that no matter what, you need to be doing that underground. How much time is he going to spend on the moon? And we should note that your score in this round is dependent on both players finishing. Both players need to finish, and then your times are added. And that's how your position is shown in the match. And also note that we only have 4 streamers going right now, but we have actually quite a few racers. How many racers do we have?
Oh, that would be a question for our admins. I forgot to get a head count on that one, but it's a lot. It is an absolute lot. I do want to point out that the reward for the end of the Dwarf Castle fight for Blues Eclipse was an additional adamant armor. So that's 2 now.
That's a beautiful thing to see, but also a pretty big time sink to go through the bosses and all of the cutscenes. So it'll be interesting to see whether or not Rex, who is on this wild goose chase, will bother to do that for that second adamant armor or not. Valuable thing. But it's also a big amount of time to spend for one single item that just helps you at the end game.
So, unfortunately, we do not get the music from this because we don't have streamed sound from our runners right here. Just because they're in voice chat as well. It's very hard to separate that. Rex Rahl is going to do the Dark Elf spot.
March dive yet. I don't know if it...
So like Kate Sith 2 is saying 36 racers and 18 teams in this one.
That's a lot of people vying for spots for the final table in this 2v2.
So pause RPG, taking a look at our inventory. Gonna sell out quite a bit of stuff. Checking out what they've got for sale in the land of summoned monsters.
Like, Draven is following underground.
Well, it is a pretty logical choice. Neither of them really have access to the moon. They haven't done the Flame Dog chest. So, no darkness crystal for them. And really, if the crystal ends up being on the moon, what an obscure way to get it. You are required to get the darkness crystal from the Flame Dog chest. And you wouldn't actually check that normally if you didn't have the crystal, but the earth crystal is in the Giant of Babil, which you would need the darkness crystal for. Kind of a snake eating its own tail.
It's definitely going to prevent runners from wanting to make that Flame Dog check. Interesting thing is, though, with 2v2, it definitely incentivizes some of the other ones. And we have the music, it's Great Warrior from Final Fantasy VII.
Oh.
And a free boss as well at the Twin Harp. Water Hag, 3 physical hits will take it down, no problem.
Beautiful stuff. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. And this spot is a pretty slow spot as well, so you're not running the risk of getting one shot or trolled at all by this Water Hag. Meanwhile, Blues Eclipse is doing the trapped chest fight in the land of summoned monsters down in the cave of summoned monsters. It's the 5x warrior fight. Having a bit of a tough time with it, too.
Not getting the damage output he wants.
Yeah, it's just double burst can go. Whack, whack. 1057. Whack, whack.
Oh my gosh. The chain continues. Rex finds the Baron key in the Twin Harp spot. This is the longest chain. If this results in the Legend Sword or the Adamant, that's just going to be insane. Nothing. It's going to be really, really painful. Should note that this actually opens up 2 key item locations, the Odin spot as well as the normal Baron key item spot. Rabbit holes have rabbit holes. I completely agree. This is one of the wilder chains I've seen, and it'll be interesting if his partner has to follow this exact same chain to catch up with him, if they need to do this for the Legend or Adamant.
And Rexroll is going all in on this chain, too. Heading down to Baron. Gonna
Like
pop a cabin and then go ahead and dive into the Baron Castle. At this juncture, Rex probably has enough pop behind his party in order to take care of the 2 spots, the Baigan spot and then the Vanilla Canazzo spot. Also, access to a ton of treasures down in the basement. Meanwhile, Blue's Eclipse gets the tower key from the trapped chest in the Cave of Summoned Monsters, opening up another key item spot in the underground.
Also incentivizing a lot of trap chests in that tower, because he can complete it and go, not having to make that 2 dives. All of a sudden that becomes a more interesting spot to go to. Clean out all of the tower in one go, and hopefully find something good. Hope your partner Rex doesn't find anything good, because that's one long chain I'm sure Blues does not.
Yeah, that'd be a tough one to have to start following right now, but you have to think there aren't a whole lot of people who are going to be making that particular play. That is a very obscure play, so if you do end up getting tipped off by your partner, you have to feel that you're ahead of the majority of the pack anyway. So you have a very, very strong chance of finishing in first place for your team.
That's very true. And since we know that this all locks the Earth Crystal, it's going to put that play down to the very last thing people want to do. Especially when the Darkness Crystal is opening up so much. And we have the Gauntlet in the Baigan spot. This isn't going to be difficult, but it's going to be a long, drawn-out fight. After that long chain, the last thing you want to see after following this chain is a long, boring fight.
It is a long, boring fight, but the worst thing you can see here is something that will absolutely sap your resources. That is more important to me as a runner in this spot, just because you don't have really any ability to save beforehand without going all the way back down into the watery cave in the underground of Baron.
You're pretty much going all in on the King of Baron spot, regardless of how this fight goes, because you don't want that time sink of going to save. It'll be interesting to see if he clears out the Baron treasury first before he goes to see the king.
It could be a bit of a risk if you take a wipe on an unfortunate encounter at the Baron King spot. All of that time that you spent gathering all of those treasures, it goes bye-bye. I've definitely taken an unfortunate wipe in that spot before, and it sets you back 5 minutes almost sometimes, just because you have to walk down all the way through, up the tower, back down to the bottom of the tower, back up, and then all the way around back to the middle of the castle again.
Absolutely. And the other nice thing about it is you have the Odin incentive. So if Rex is feeling confident enough that he can take out the boss and Odin spot, then you are kind of routing in all of those checks with taking out Odin.
Yeah, taking on the Odin spot is just a little bit more tricky than taking on the King spot. Odin spot has somewhere in the vein of 45,000 hit points, something like that, and is impossibly fast. And somebody asked in chat, is there anything really nasty that could be at the Baron King spot at this point? Yep, Golbez. Golbez could absolutely be there, and if Golbez is there, you're in for a world of hurt. Because, yeah, the adamant armor protects you against elemental damage, but virus will still hit you like a truck. Goes ahead and equips that defense sword, which is the third best weapon for Kain. Some people would argue the second best weapon for Kain, too. Goes ahead and does a little switcheroo with the dwarf axe just to give him that back row glitch. And here we go. Ugh. And that is an ugly thing to see there, too. At least you got Kain. Valvalis is no joke, no matter what spot she's in.
That would have been really painful had they not had that Kain. I'm sure they're going to be counting their blessings. And we have our first tower dive from Pause.
Pause RPG going after some of the trap chests in the Tower of Babel. Went with Zerk Kain, Zerk Edward, and Go. There are 4 trapped chests in the lower part of Babel. And those trap chests, they can be easy fights. Just so long as you kill the alerts in one shot. They will summon a monster, predetermined monster, for each of the 4 fights. Chimera, Stone Man, Naga, and what's the 4th one? Flame Dog?
Oh, looks like Draven is having some difficult classes, or maybe doesn't know that those class?
Yeah, well, that wouldn't be the first person that didn't know that the Dark Imps were actually susceptible to stop. Blues Eclipse did the Leviathan spot and was rewarded with the package.
Party that they know, and he knows what's available at the Earth Crystal. I don't see them.
So Rexrell's finished up his fight, is heading out, doing the long walk down to the basement of the right side of Baron Castle, right in the center. Let's see what Rexrell ends up getting for this. If this ridiculous item chain continues, or if we finally see its end. What's the funniest thing we can see here? Luca Key?
Oh, all of that work for a life staff.
Ugh.
That's not something you want to see. Although your partner is probably thinking, oh my gosh, thank goodness I do not have to do that whole path. Although we have one opportunity left. We have
That's right. We still have the Odin spot.
Oh, and
I mean, if Rexrell is truly all in on this one, he's got to go for the Odin spot, right? Yeah, and there it is. There's the dive right in. The good thing is that Rexrell has found Edge as a character reward for that fight. So, making good work of those Masamunes. Best sword for him right there. Going ahead and doing a little switcheroo so he can get that back row glitch on him with the full moon. And here it comes.
That vanilla Leviathan or French vanilla Leviathan?
That is French vanilla Leviathan right there. That is Leviathan and Usher spot. And Rexrell is staring down the barrel of Rubicint's gun in the Odin location. That's going to be really rough. But the good thing here is that Rubicint only does elemental damage. With those adamant armors available, Rexrell will actually be able to take care of him in short order.
I don't believe Rex has made any of the dive, though. I don't think he has any adamant armors that we've seen.
That's right.
So
Rex doesn't have adamants.
Oh,
no!
Wow. Yeah,
those physical counters are ugly. Now I see a Moonveil staring him in the face right there. Oh.
I think he's going to come back to this one. I can't imagine him taking this He is at Rubicant and Bailing.
Yeah, Rubicant's AoE Fire 2 counter doing about 350 to 400 damage a shot on everybody. Rex is noping right out of it. I'm curious to know why he didn't pop a Moon Veil there. That would have been an easy way to take care of that fight. You take care of the physicals, and you take care of the magic damage right there with a little Reflect. Rex has decided, nope, no thank you, go into the moon.
I imagine that when Rubicant counters with the Fire 2, it ends up healing him. And so you wouldn't be able to actually do damage. Oh, and we find some sirens on the moon. That's going to be really helpful at this point.
Oh, boy.
And he's in the perfect spot to go. Maybe he'll go all the way to the King Ryu grind and just start grinding up levels. He's got a great party. He's going to want to max out those levels. And he purchases 30 sirens. He is ready to go for a good grind. He does his back row glitch. Puts on his equipment. Still hasn't picked up that adamant though.
Sorry to pop in ahead here. Just interrupting for a quick moment. Just wanting to let you know, no Dark Kobold, you are ahead of the stream.
Oh, sorry.
By about 5 to 10 seconds.
Yeah, if you could commentate from the direct stream, that would be great.
Sorry about that.
It's all good. So we got Dravenheart going after that CPU fight right now. While Rex Rawl gets into the big whale. He's gonna plop himself down a little point in the moon. Ah, I was curious to know what he was doing right there. It looks like he's going to the lunar path. Gonna fight some hair dryers. Hair dryers, also known as the Jewel Sayout Pro Sayout fight, which is also susceptible to your Hourglass 2s. They each get one of their attacks off, but not so much anymore. They are now stopped. Orienting himself. And now it's burst and go time. You've got Edge, you've got Kane, you've got Pop, you've got life potions. It's time to go get some. And we can see that life glitch happening right there. Everybody's favorite thing to do in these trap chest fights is the life glitch. Why? Credits you with 2 kills for the price of 1 right there. It revives the monster at 5 times their vitality. Fun fact, every monster has a vitality of 0. So it revives the character at 0 hit points. Kills it again. Counts as a second kill. And there it is. You get 7 kills for the price of 4. 53,000 experience, which will definitely help with those levels, especially for his Spoony Bard, his White Mage Rosa. Unfortunately, all he gets is a Slumber Sword for that particular encounter. Well, Rex Rawl has decided he's moving on. Going with all the obscure things. He's looking for value, ladies and gentlemen. He's looking for value in Cave Bahamut. Coming in at an hour 108, Rex Rawl is looking for value in Cave Bahamut. Meanwhile, over on our right side, Dravenheart still mashing away at CPU as Pause RPG takes on the base of the cave of summoned monsters. Pops a float down there so that she doesn't take damage from those damage tiles. Still hasn't found the trap in the trapped chest. Oh, and we've got some Deep Ravine over in Blues Eclipse's stream right there. Mylon Z. And Kane sneezes and Mylon Z goes. Blue's Eclipse found the adamant at the top. See what Blue's Eclipse's reward is for falling down the bottom of the tower.
Oh, it looks like the adamant was at the French vanilla or Leviathan.
Ah!
Is Blue's gone to the top of the tower? It looks like he's still continuing up. Oh, we have missed.
Rexrall finds D-Mist at the Bahamut spot. Another strange play that could very well work in his favor. It's obscure, but it could be the big all-in move that he after coming up short. This one's a little bit tricky because boy, the Bahamut spot is really, really fast, and little known fact, the strength is out of this world in that spot, so he hits like a truck. 1,500 damage a shot.
He has taken some hard hits from those single attacks from the D-Mist. Luckily, he's getting the time to get his characters back up during this phase, but he's also not going to want to use the Berserk strats, otherwise he's going to be taking a lot of cold miss.
And it looks like Draven is finally through the CPU fight and is inside the Falcon, the Maserati of airships. Very nice, sleek, red. It could be yours. You just have to steal it.
Blues gets into a really easy fight.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Blues gets into the Officer 3 sword. Well, it's what they do.
We still haven't seen a Golbez, so we're running out of places that are easy for Gold. Wondering if we're going to see him this seed. This is the last of the Give Me battles, if I'm not mistaken.
One of the last. It's one of the last of the Gimme battles. Rexrall is still pounding away at D-Mist, who's still pounding away at him. I wonder if Rexrall's going to pop down a Silk Web, make that fight a little bit slower, a little bit easier. That fight can be just nasty in that location. At 1,100 a shot, 1,600 a shot, you're not really going to get a whole lot of mileage out of just Edward and Edge. I'm curious to know why he's not using a Moon Veil. Starting to really crank it out, though. Dravenheart's got a rune axe for her Cid. Found in the base in the treasure house in Tomra. Ah, and Blue's Eclipse is done with the officer-soldier fight at the top of the Tower of Babel. Finds a White Lance.
Not a bad item to see. Imagine he's going to send his partner up to get. While Rex is still plugging away at this D-Mist, make it through the fight, for sure.
Well, Pause RPG just got through the sneeze of a Mylon Z fight. Heading down the tower, and it looks like Pause and Blue's Eclipse are going to hit the bottom of the tower at roughly the same time. So we get a ×2 peek at what they're going to get as a reward for this tower climb. And Blues is down first. Watching that tower bridge crumble, crumble. Run, Rosa, run! drops down. And we get...
Just a Gaia drone.
That is a slug in the gut right there.
But we do get the cool visual effect of using the Enterprise to open the magma hole.
Rex Rawl breaks through finally. Let's see what Rex gets as his initial reward for beating the demisted Bahamut spot. He gets a defense sword. It's not the greatest thing that you could possibly see there. Well, let's see if that was actually the only reward, or if there's something better lurking behind that hidden treasure.
Oh, yeah. I can't believe he's following it. I thought he would have stayed on the moon myself.
Well, this is one of those moments where Rex just went all in on a very chain and probably feels the need to make some really big plays. If you go right after this demist find and it ends up paying off in a big way, you're still ahead. You've lost about 15 to 20 minutes following a ridiculous item chain. You can make all that up right now if this leads you to the crystal in some fashion. I think, although Rex for a moment forgot where to get. Oh, there we go. There we go. I'm gonna check his demist treasure right now.
Just a heroin roll. Don't
Boo,
think he
hero
did
and
extra
shirt.
damage.
Boo, hero and shirt. So now, if you're Rex Rawl and you've hit 2 dead ends on your big risks, what are you thinking?
Imagine he has to just go clear the moon. I don't think at this point is there any chain that he could come back to Earth for. Maybe only the Luca key. So we're down to the Luca key and the trapped chest in Sylph Cave.
Also Odin. He's the only one with access to Odin still.
That's true. He might want to come back to that sooner than later, because like you said, that could end up making that 15 to 20 minutes a valuable play.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Because that particular item chain is not dead. It's all but dead. Rubicint at the Odin spot pretty much wrecked him right there. I think what's going on here is Rex is just gonna go try to clear the moon now, maybe find some way to get the levels that he needs to get through that Rubicint at Odin spot, and also pick up another character. And that character is vanilla, ladies and gentlemen. We've got Foo!
But he dropped.
Who do you drop here? You drop Rydia, that's who.
Bye-bye, Rydia. No
Bye-bye,
grinding,
Rydia.
level
Nuke
55.
is way more important than having access to Bahamut. It's faster, it's reliable, and it doesn't trigger ridiculous counters. And Rex Rawl is skipping the Pale Dim location. Skipping all the treasure chests, too. I believe there are 7 trapped chests on the moon. Your progression, or even the crystal itself, could be at any number of those spots.
That the randomizer weights it towards more likely to be at the moon bosses or summon bosses, or is it completely 100% random which spots? Is there any weighting?
To my knowledge, it is 100% random. with just your logic checks in there. So you have to have the correct amount of access to get everything, regardless of where all the key items end up being. So your crystal can be literally anywhere, and the progression to the crystal can be literally any way. I've seen the crystal in a trapped chest at the tail end of the at the crystal walk on your way to Zeromus.
But right now, we have no idea where the pass is, where the Luca key is, where the pink tail is, and where the legend sword are. That's our outstanding key items that no runner has found yet.
And Pause RPG and Blues Eclipse have decided to take out the trash. They're doing the trudge right now. This is the hard spot. The 6 trapped chests in the Sylvan Cave. It's tough for many reasons. Not only are you having to constantly heal or float yourself for each of the floors because of those damage tiles, but also on top of that, those fights are not fun. Oh, we have a Golbez sighting.
And he has no adamant armors. He still has not made that dive into Cave Eblin to get an adamant.
Yeah, we got Trollbez. Is that in the plague spot right there? The White Lance spot?
Don't.
That would be the more favorable spot. If this was at the D-Lunar spot. Oh, it's at the D-Lunar spot. See, that is a ton of hit points to chew through. That's... I believe that's... trying to think, 75,000 hit points that he has to chew through there. Virus for 798. So the magic power is not the strongest. Pops open a couple of Star Veils, and now we're in business.
Has any Bacchus in his inventory, this could actually become a quickly trivial fight.
So he's prioritizing rezzing people right now. He's going life potion wall the entire way. There's a Star Veil on Eddie. Looks like everybody's all walled up. And now it's time for Fu to get some. Cranking out that nuke. 7982.
Damage.
Wonderful amounts of damage right there. That'll chew through him like nobody's business.
That said, granted, we're only going to get a max of 3 nukes out of Fu because he's got such limited magic power throughout the game.
Well, I think he's only going to need 1 or 2. Here's the second one. Still a ton of hit points to chew through here. And we see he's out of MP right. Only had enough to throw down a virus. Oh,
and he takes him down.
Whoa. Why? And done. 75,000 experience for that. But more importantly, access to 2 treasure chests. Very big treasure chests coming up.
Oh, and that puts them their team in go mode.
We have the Legend Sword. We absolutely have the Legend Sword. The Adamant has been received by Blue's Eclipse. We know how to get the crystal now. And a meme firebomb right at the end.
Blues looks like he's going straight for that darkness crystal. They both know what they need to do to get through this.
Just to recap for everyone in chat who just came in or hasn't been around since the beginning, Rex Rawl made the play to go do the Flame Dog chest way early, ended up finding the Darkness Crystal as a reward for that, which allotted him moon access. The rest is history. See, now Rex Rawl is heading around. Gotta get that hook. Gotta get that hook right now. Knows that it's in the old ruined Eblon Castle.
Rex hadn't even gotten as far to pick up the hook. That explains why he never went for that adamant armor. Put off a lot of stuff. And his partner never found the magma key. So maybe he was hoping that he never even had to do this dive to get the hook in the first place.
Meanwhile, over on the right side, we've got Pause RPG doing the Toad Lady and Tiny Toad fight. Right where we usually see Mr. Yang sleeping with the fairies. Blue's Eclipse goes right out there and gets that Darkness Crystal. I don't think the Blue's Eclipse is going to be wasting too much time here. Although, this is an interesting play. Why is Blue's Eclipse continuing? Doesn't have the Earth Crystal.
Maybe he wants that second cane?
Can't get it without the Earth Crystal.
Oh, you're right.
Yep.
Yeah, this is somewhat confusing. Maybe he's forgotten that he doesn't have the Earth Crystal.
Well, now I'm just curious what Blue's Eclipse is thinking.
Yeah, he forgot that he doesn't have the Earth Crystal.
Yeah, totally
Tries
forgot.
to enter that fight. Probably really wanted that extra cane. Get up on Zeramus. And gets rejected by the dolls.
So now where's Rex Rawl going here?
He's going to pick up the ship, the hovercraft. Gotta go release it.
Oh, yes, that's right. Didn't even do the hovercraft moment.
He has been avoiding everything underground. Now he's on a mad dash to get that legend sword.
Blue's going after the Legend Sword. Rex Rawl going after the Adamant. They know where it is. They just need to get it. We got our favorite setup on Rosa there, the Adamant Protect setup. Unnerfed Big Bangs, not a problem. 600 damage and whatever. Pause RPG stacking Rosa with all of the defense imaginable.
Now the question just becomes, when are Draven and Pause gonna make that play into Tower of Zot. We know that's what they need to do, but it's probably the furthest thing from their mind.
It is likely that it will be the last thing that they do, because the Earth Crystal is locked within itself on that one.
And is it gonna send one of them or both of them down the crazy path that we saw Rex doing? Rather than go, I imagine they'll have to split one to the moon and one to the crazy path that Rex took, but that's gonna eat away at more of their time. Not a friendly seed for finding that darkness crystal.
Yeah, this seed has been full of ups and downs for Rex Rawl over there. Sharp downs, finding a life staff at the end of a 4-key item chain, and then making a huge play for the D-Mist and only getting a hero insert. And then coming back, and in one of the ribbon chests, finally seeing the progression that he was looking for. Unfortunately, Rex Rawl says no to the Mega Man Sid. Breaks my heart.
That said, I have to imagine they're feeling pretty good because all of this was still dependent on that Flame Dog check.
It was indeed.
Rex lost all that time, they're imagining that most other teams are probably skipping and putting that Flame Dog check off till much later, until they see that Earth Crystal, and we know they won't see that Earth Crystal. So it's going to be a last check for a lot of teams.
So right here, Draven's taking care of some trap chests in the Tower of Babel now. These are going to be fairly easy fights for her. Got that Earth Hammer on Sid. Pretty fairly known fact. The Earth Hammer does massive amounts of damage to machine types. And that's Spoony Bard. Max damage Spoon. Hard to compare to, too.
Be interesting seeing Rex taking on CPU with this much later in the seed than everyone else did. He should hopefully tear through it.
And Rex actually laying down an hourglass too. The first of the three, the first of any of them that we've seen actually capitalize on that weakness.
That's actually pretty funny because he's the one with the Edward who's just tearing through all of these guys. Of all the people who didn't need it, and he's the one who lays it down.
Yeah, all it's taken is a shot here and a shot there from our Spoon. 45-28. Please.
Like, Blues took Fu, and I think Blues might go for more of a reflect strat with keeping Rydia, keeping Rosa, and keeping Fu. I don't think we'll see physical attacks for his.
We might actually see
fight.
some hybrid strats. I've seen some hybrid strats come out before. You know, you still do the reflects to avert having to deal with the counter nukes. It's just as good as Crystal Sword Swing. Maybe the animations are a little longer, but 9999 is still a good thing to see against Aromas. You could also see pure reflect strats. Having Kane be a Cure 3 chucker. I see an Artemis bow on Rosa. Makes me think maybe there's also the possibility of going Zerg strat. You never ever know what it's going to be.
Also, we see Blues taking the mad dash to get to that Golbez spot. He'll have a little easier time because he has 2 adamants. So 2 of his characters will not be dropped to demolish, and if he's lucky, none of his characters will be dropped if they're targeted multiple times.
That's right, every targeting of demolish is random, 1 in 5 chance. And that happens regardless of whether or not the last one worked on your character. It doesn't take them out of the targeting equation. So you can have the same character targeted multiple times.
And Pause just found the first part of their equation. In that French vanilla Leviathan spot.
All right, that's 1/2 of Go Go Go. Well, actually, in Pause's case, that's 1/3 of Go Go Go. Don't have a Legend Sword, don't have a way to the moon. Now, here we see Blues doing something in the Golbez fight that a lot of times I like to discourage people doing. Popping those Star Veils and Moon Veils early, they have the potential to wear off by the end of the animations. And then you're in trouble.
Like Pause is doing that overworld clear of the bosses, looking to see if D-Mist is in the overworld. Probably will be heading to the Octomam spot next.
Rexrall through the CPU fight. At this point for Rexrall, it's really just going and fetching. Gonna get his metal stick. He's gonna hand somebody else that metal stick with another metal stick. They're gonna forge a crystal. And then it's gonna be grind and go time.
Rex is gonna have an easier time. He's only gonna have to go back to him once because he's gonna grab that sword and call it a day pretty quick here.
Rex doing a quick check of Tomra. Ah, getting some Bacchus. At least wants to get some Bacchus.
He's making some money. Yep.
Doesn't want to wait for Naming Way to walk away.
Hopping maybe? Or is he going for that adamant?
So for everyone out here, I'm just gonna go through a little bit. While we've been watching this, we've had some finishes. The very first finisher, Yimo, finished the race first place at the time of 1 hour, 23 minutes, 42 seconds. The teammate, SG4E, finished with with a time of 1 hour, 27 minutes. Seconds. Combined time for them 2 hours 50 minutes 50 seconds. Team Best Angle takes it down. In third place we have Podrick, finishing in a time of 1 hour 29 minutes and 4 seconds. RPG Mel finishing in fourth place with a time of 1 hour 30 minutes 23 seconds. Dusty Griff finished in fifth place. Our time of 1 hour 30 minutes 46 seconds. And then we have team finishes. Ends in Ack is the team with Zyrak finished in sixth place. Time of 1 hour 30 minutes 59 seconds for a total time of 3 hours and 3 seconds. Demarin 2 finished in seventh place. 1 hour 31 minutes 12 seconds. And the team Sylvan Spelunkers with Silverfire finishes with a total time of 3 hours and 2 minutes 51 seconds, with Silverfire being in eighth place, 1 hour 31 minutes 39 seconds. Team Bigan's Biceps comes in with 3 hours, 2 minutes, and 17 seconds. Team 23 and Z coming in 3 hours, 8 minutes, 38 seconds. And the Team Mighty Quacks coming in 3 hours, 14 minutes, 15 seconds. GG's to all of our runners right there.
Hearing that, it looks like Blues is taking the time.
And these are some fantastic team names, by the way. Bigan's Biceps, Mighty Quacks. Doesn't get much better than that. So Blues Eclipse getting his spoony bard. Rex Rawl getting drunk and whacking down Leviathan. And Ice 2 damage, pretty significant, 900 damage, and yet it's not going to be enough to take down Edge, sitting there at a cool 1,500 hit points. And that's the reason why we got Fu right there, that nuke. Darn near 7,000 damage on that nuke.
Edward being no slouch either with 4,000 damage from that spoon.
Love the meme. Love the spoon meme. And there it is. Rex Rawl finally gets through that and gets the adamant. It's go time. Now, Rex Rawl is looking medium levels, level 37. What sort of grind strat do you think is in store for us here on Rex Stream?
He has the sirens, he has the hourglasses. I think he's going to go straight to that King Ryu spot. He doesn't have the pass, so I have to imagine we're going to see a lot of moon grinds. Can't imagine too many people going back to the giant to grind.
That is true. You've got Fusoya, which lends you the potential to do that D-Machine grind.
And we have both teammates turning in their Adamant and Legend Sword at the same time.
At almost exactly the same time. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Oh, here's Pause RPG. Down in the lower right-hand corner, doing that Flame Dog chest check. Now, this is interesting. Pause is going to praise her lucky stars that she did this. There it is. Darkness Crystal.
Probably
Bada bing,
also
bada
really
boom.
frustrated. An hour and 42 minutes in finding that. And we have another finisher. Team Ogo Pogo Outback finished with a combined time of 3 hours and 13 minutes and 14 seconds.
Ogo Pogo Outback. I love it. Plenty more .duns. Rename, 17th place. Night Dew, 18th place. Before that, we've had Moonblaze Wolf finish. Artea, Mid-Boss, Simbu. Couch 23 as part of Team 23 and Z. Z-Man.
I was wrong. Looks like Rex is going to do some egg.
Rex is making omelets.
Omelets with a spoon, it appears, too. Not the usual utensil you use to eat omelet, but you know, he's making it work.
Rex taking down some eggs. Scrambling some eggs up for, it's an easier kill, for sure. It's an easier kill. One shot and done. Team Ivan Rename Sucks has finished. It's combined time 3 hours, 19 minutes, and 8. What is Blue's Eclipse doing here? Little inventory management. Oh, we got that Soma drop on Fu. Unlocks his full potential right there. Going from 190 MP to 200 MP. Increases the amount of times you can cast that nuke to 4 from 3. Very, very helpful.
Looks like he is diving the moon.
Yeah, it looks like Blue's Eclipse is going to take your lead on that one. King.
I don't know if I saw him pick up any sirens.
Well, he's walking with purpose to that grind spot, so one would have to imagine that he's got the sirens.
Kind of interesting, we never saw an Avenger sword despite having 2 available canes.
Yeah, always disappointing when you can't get that Avenger.
But Spoonword is going to make up for that loss of damage dealing quite nicely, and as you pointed out, nukes with Fu are going to be very painful.
Paz goes and grabs 20 Hourglass 3s at Silvera. It looks like Blues is doing that King Ryu grind. There it is. Got that Dragoon Lance on Kane for quad damage. That quad damage goodness.
It'll be interesting to see how much this slingshots his Edward. His Edward's starting at level 5, which is going to get 3 times the amount of experience for this fight.
Yeah, that slingshot's going to be pretty tasty. He's decided to change up his strategy, though. Instead of going straight for that weak. There's 180,000 experience. And Edward gains 39 levels, making him level 44.
Nice little boost.
Unfortunately, that puts him in critical hit point. And Heidi. And now we see Rex Rawl going to the moon. Is Rex ready?
I want to see his levels and see where he's at.
I saw level 55 with Fusoya. That doesn't really say a whole lot. Kate Sith just laid down. Edward just became Hyde. Beautiful. So Dravenheart is noping out of the Sylvan Cave, right? Pause RPG, trying to take down D-Mist. And we have a couple of more teams that have finished Team Free Enterprise with a combined time of 3 hours, 31 minutes, 53 seconds. And then right on their heels, Team Breadman's Bakery finished in 3 hours, 25 minutes, and 19 seconds combined. Looks like Rexroll is ready. Huh.
Omelets, had a good breakfast, feels ready to take on Zeromus.
Ah, yes. Yellow D eggs, part of this balanced breakfast.
Breakfast is the most important meal of the day.
It is indeed, especially when you're dealing with Zeromus fights. Yeah, he's saving and it's on. Rexroll is ready to go. Say that 3 times fast. Rexroll is ready to go. Meanwhile, we've got Blues Eclipse down in the lower left-hand corner, making a safer play here, gaining just a few more levels. And as always, we've got Skullakitty with eyes on what's about to happen. How many sprites are we up to now? 400 something known Zeromus sprites?
Hard at work, knocking out as many sprites, doing wonderful work.
He's absolutely doing exceptional work. Worked on those palette swaps, so we can see things like Mega Man Sid, Goth Rydia, and your Holy Dragoon Kane. But now it is time for the all-important question: whose butt are we going to kick?
What strats he uses for Edward in this final battle, because it seems like
this looks like a Zerk party to me. Also, does not give 2 craps about agility anchoring, going with an adamant armored Kane in the center.
that is some courageous play. Pretty well. I also don't think we saw him turn down his battle speed at all.
Uses the crystal, and who does Zeromus become? Ah! What the heck is that?
Alderamus. I do not know who that is.
I have no idea who this is.
Yeah, let's see if chat tells us.
Skullakitty is saying this is
Traveler.
Galdera of Octopath Traveler. And Rexroll ready to heal his Kane at a moment's notice as Rosa. It's full Zerk and go time, baby. And there's Eddie taking his sips. And we've got his partner, Blues Eclipse, coming in hot on his heels right there, entering the Zeromus fight.
More of a standard agility anchor with
A semi-standard agility anchor with Rydia there. 1,700 hit points on it.
as long as she's at one of those magic numbers.
Could very well be at one of the magic numbers, 14, 28. With 1,700 hit points, 28 seems like the more likely scenario.
Or we never saw any cursed rings, so not knocking her down from 20. Also a common strat you'll see.
Oh, and Blues Eclipse does not care about nuke counters. Just casting nuke right out of the gun. Right onto Zeromus. Doesn't care about speed, doesn't care about anything, it's just raw damage. Nuke counter goes after Fu for 1072. That's a pretty good damage roll.
Oh, he actually put the dwarf on Kane. So I was going for one, or Rexroll put the dwarf axe on Kane.
Ah, I see.
Up his agility. So I'm imagining he also went for one of those magic numbers as well.
And we have a couple of actual finishers coming up. Team Nightque has finished with a time combined 3 hours, 34 minutes, and 29 seconds. And then Team Dynamic Derps is finished with a time of 3 hours, 44 minutes, and 19 seconds. Blues Eclipse takes that first big bang. Ain't no thing. That baby was nerfed.
I think he's going for Ashura strats.
That is courageous.
Oh.
So for anyone who uses Ashura to heal in the Zeromus fight, you're all insane. That 1 in 3 chance of getting the AoE life 1, just it has me. Can't handle it. Oh, Rexroll backed into a corner right here. He's in Meteo phase, but oh, Doctor.
And he does.
And he gets it.
Ooh, skin of his teeth.
God, that was close. Rexroll finishes 26th place with a time of 1 hour, 56 minutes, and 4 seconds. GG's to you, Rex. Rex was on a wild ride this entire time, and finally finishes it out. Blues Eclipse also finishing. Bam! There it is. Shake, rattle, and roll. That is Team Total Eclipse of the Rex. Finish. The time combined of 3 hours, 52 minutes, and 59 seconds. GG's to both of you guys. See if we can get him in here for an interview. I will be very interested to know what was Rex's mind during the entire race.
Oh, I have to imagine that we have to ask him what happened when he saw that life staff.
Oh man, yeah, Rexroll. GG's to you, sir. What a wild ride you took us on in this seed. How you feeling?
Well, I mean, I think a little bit upset about how easy it was to find that legend sword after what I went through right before then.
Yeah, you took a very circuitous route to that legend sword. Took a very strange path, finding the Earth Crystal in the most obscure of all of the trapped chests. Tell us a little bit about what you were thinking when you ended up with a life staff at the end of that.
Well, I mean, it was one of those where, well, first of all, that wasn't the end of it, because there was that Rubik into the Odin spot that I just could not take down at that point. Right. But I definitely kept that in the back of my mind. But I'm thinking, this is a big race. There's a lot of people in here. So this ends up being a really big gamble. Like, every time I found another key item that leads down a rabbit hole, I'm like, it seems like less people are going to be going down that route. So if this ends up being important, this could put us at a huge lead. As it turns out, it ended up being a life staff, and the first place that I checked when I went into Lunar Subterrane was the place that we needed to go, which is on our routing the first place that we go to in the Lunar Subterrane. So if instead of going down the Earth Crystal route, I had just gone like, let's clear Moon first, then we would have found there, and I think we would have been in a pretty good shape. I don't know if we would have won, but like, Blues was doing really good. I think Blues is here now.
Yeah,
Blues was doing really good at the bottom.
Welcome. How you doing, man?
Doing all right.
Yeah, you took a more classic route, hooking into the underground and clearing underground before doing anything in the moon. In fact, you didn't do anything in the moon until Rex basically found the thing that you had to do. How was the experience for you?
Honestly, I was pretty pleased with how it went. I mean, actually finding most of the key items in the seed, though it seemed like he found the darkness crystal, I found the hook, and those were the only two real pieces of progression that we were looking for anywhere.
All right.
Yeah, and that kind of just dictated where we were going to go from there. Like, he got the hook, so his responsibility was Underworld. I got the moon, or the darkness crystal, so moon was my job, so.
Yeah, objective is just to make sure we're not duplicating.
Yeah, you had mentioned that there were things that you guys did in practice together, preparing for this 2v2, basic routing strategies, etc. Do you, Rex, have a preference as to your role in it, or do you guys just sort of trade off? Tell us a little bit about that.
In a lot of cases, I think we try to do what's available, since that the way that we start is scripted. That Blues is going to do a lot of the shopping. I'm going to clear out Antlion and Mount Hobbs and just a little bit there. So we've got a little bit to start with. And then basically, depending on how long it takes me to beat the first couple bosses, Blues might either go to Baron Inn or Mount Hobbs or Mount Ordeals or something like that. And basically, the first key item that gives us progression is like, that is our job. And then it's the other person's responsibility to cover anything else. So
I want to ask you, you had to be hearing secondhand as Rex was going down this long chain. You must have been feeling more and more apprehensive about having to do all that if it led to one of the key items. I have to imagine just each piece you heard, like, oh no, I hope I don't have to do all that.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, that was in the back of my mind that entire time. Also, interesting note, I'm watching the end credits sequence now, and that Rubicant fight was the pass.
Yep, sure was.
So, yeah, that almost wound up. Yeah, that almost wound up being something for you, Rex. But no, I definitely had it.
I told Blues when we were talking in the stream, like, if I had found like a Dragoon piece of armor to help against the spam fire too, I might have had a shot at that Rubicant, but it was too fast, too strong, and I had no good defensive stuff against fire.
Yeah, an adamant armor would have done the there, but
yeah, that would have been great too. But
I believe at that point, you were the only one without one.
Yeah, that was rough. I didn't have that, and I was fighting the harder, like, my moon obligations were more difficult bosses. Like, at least I feel comfortable. I had a good team, starting with Rosa and Rydia. Like, Rosa is just like makes everything so much easier. So, yeah.
So Rex, I also want to ask you.
Yeah.
I'm assuming Blues told you that there was that adamant in Cave Eblin. Did you just feel like that was not the right play to make? To go get the hook, to pick up the hovercraft, to go get that adamant?
Well, it kind of depended. Like, if I had found the magma key early on my routing, then maybe I would have done that. But for most of it, I'm thinking, like, if I'm going to have to use that hook to get down to the underworld, I'll just pick it up when I do that. And that's what I did right at the end. I did go to that one chest. That was the only chest in Eblin that I opened. I grabbed that adamant armor, and I used that for Edward on the Zeramis fight. So, yeah.
Sure, I just imagine cursing the world of not having that adamant armor through having to do all those moon bosses and having to try and take down Rubicon.
I guess it kind of like, I feel pretty comfortable handling most things without an adamant armor. So, like, I had a pretty strong party. If my party was weaker, like if I still had Yang, which I had through a little part of the MIDI, and I hate Yang, then I might have.
We saw you. You debated for so long in that, do I take Yang? Do I keep the two Canes? That was an entertaining moment.
I had very little equipment for Kane at that point. Like, I barely could equip one. Like, I think he still had an iron shield at the end of the game. So, like, it was really bad equipment for Kane. And I had one cat claw, and I'm like, oh, is that enough reason? I'm like, well, hopefully I'll find another character where I can ditch Yang right away. And, you know, I found Edge, and I found Fusia. So it ended up being okay in the end.
Yeah.
One of those funny things where it's like, you hate the character, but it's the right decision.
Yeah.
And on my path, I wound up picking up, I mean, at various points, I picked up a white spear, a dragoon spear, and a Gungner.
Yeah, he had all the good cane stuff, and
Yeah.
I was the one who had 2 canes. So
Honestly, I even made the attempt to go in there after getting the darkness crystal to try and pick up that second cane, and then realized, wait, I don't have the earth crystal. I can't do this.
yeah.
You were not the only person who actually made that choice to going up there trying to turn in an earth crystal that you didn't have. In fact, I think you both did that, right?
Well, when I did that, it was to check to see if that was Mist Dragon.
Oh yes, that's
In
right.
that spot.
Yeah, you were doing a
And
boss
then-
check.
Yeah, and then I went afterwards to see who that character was, and so that I could let Blues know who the second boss in Dwarf was. I figured that little bit of time to get a little bit of information was worth it. So.
Well, a wild ride going in, going out, and ending with kind of a skin of your teeth medio phase on Zeromus. Any final thoughts for either of you guys?
Yeah, that was skin in the teeth. I was glad that I didn't wipe during medio phase because that's happened to me, and that is so disheartening.
Yeah.
But we got through it. I think overall, like that was a long rabbit hole I went down, but you know, you got to risk it for the biscuit, right? So that's what I did.
That's true. You got to make your all in at some point.
Yeah.
I have to admit, that was just an interesting experience on my end also, simply because normally I wind up being the one that's doing all of the ancillary checks and following the rabbit holes, while Rex is the one doing the summon monster bosses and everything like that. So just the way this one kind of flipped it around from how our seeds have been running was interesting.
Yeah, but we both, I think, I'm happy with how we both did. There's a couple routing decisions I made that were wrong. Like, I forgot to go to the Fabul item shop early, so, like, you might have saw me reroute there, and yeah. But other than that, I'm pretty happy with what we did.
Well, it was a very entertaining watch for sure, and we got to see a diverse amount of strategies being used in boss fights and a plethora of information. Very nice to watch you both, and thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Let me
Thank
ask
you.
you guys one last thing.
Oh, sure.
Gonna take anything from this race into tomorrow's races? Is there anything you learned? Anything you feel like you want to do differently after how this race went?
For me, remember to unequip the dwarf axe and put on the actual good weapon for Can in the Zeromus fight.
Honestly, I think the biggest thing to take away there would probably be really just thinking about those rabbit holes, about thinking whether it's actually worth it to try and dive the rabbit hole as opposed to going for something like the Lunar D chests.
Absolutely. All right, well, thank you very much both again, and GG's to a pretty solid and side-by-side finish right at the end.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, and look forward to tomorrow's races.
And just to update you guys a little bit, while we were doing our interview, Team We Know Bagu finishes. Time of 3 hours, 49 minutes, 2 seconds. Team Hadesmus has also finished with a combined time of 4 hours, 3 minutes, and 52 seconds. And list of the other runners that have finished that encompasses. We have Woo Bear, Dragon Dart, Chaos Hades, and Golden Hades. And Neat Sky won. 32 .duns.
Right now, it looks like Pause is trying to clean out all the trap chests before going straight to the D-Lunar spot.
Pound for pound, this makes a little bit of sense to me, just because you got 7 trap chests in the lunar subterrane right there. That's 7 chances for the progression that you're looking for. She's already got the adamant, so just looking for that legend sword. The legend sword can be just about anywhere here. It's not such a bad move. It's just unfortunate that we know exactly.
Oh, absolutely.
Opts
And you
for
know
the
you're
dragon
going to
spear?
be getting some decent weaponry coming through too. and armor coming from all these trap chests.
Well, we got Ikir finishing in 33rd place. Time of 2 hours, 9 minutes, and 40 seconds. And with this over-leveled party, most of these trap chests are going to be fairly trivial, especially with your Spoonward, who is just absolutely massacring, tune of 3,500 damage a shot, and that's to just about anything.
Also,
They've both hit the subterranean.
Close to being free of taking a unnerfed big 100 more HP.
Yeah, absolutely. That's some pretty high hit point totals, even for Edward. And there's Lady Dravenheart going right for the Pale Dim location. Looks like they're splitting up. One taking Pale Dim, one taking the Wyvern location. Who Pale Dim spot? Mylon? Interesting thing to note about the Pale Dim spot, not a whole lot of magic damage to be had here. Plenty of hit points, plenty of physical damage, not a lot of magic damage. So those lit 1 counters, they're going to do about 10 to 20 damage. It's a chip shot, really. There's one.
I think the Edward has an adamant on, so it's not going to penetrate that much.
Yeah, 24 damage on Sid, though, who's notorious for getting wrecked by magic.
Give a shout out to our hard at work tracker and restreamer, keeping things. Got Natara doing the tracking today, and we have Tarasu doing our restreaming. So,
And we have another finished team. Team Bacchus's Rhymes is finished with a time of 4 hours and 11 minutes. Let's see who's in the Wyvern spot. Ah, it's D's Lunars, boys. It's D's Lunars. Team Reasonably Competent has finished with a combined time 22 minutes and 8 seconds. You all are killing me. These team names are fantastic. The D-Lunars are staring down the barrel of a Bahamut gun. An interesting counter that they have to summons. Remedy. It leaves one of them alive, though, and that could be fire on literally everything. Doesn't matter. Dragon Whip and done. What do we get for our reward?
Another potential adamant armor.
I love it. I love it. Chance for another adamant armor right there. If Paws decides to go back to Earth and cash it in. That's the other thing, is that, well, has to go back to Earth to make the crystal anyway, right?
Yeah, we're guaranteed they're going back to Earth. Whether or not they're going to take the time to pick up that hovercraft, fly all the way over, just both finished Dwarf Castle. So, and Evelyn. So they're going to have 2 adamants already each.
So Paws RPG is gonna clear out more chests. Looks like Lady Draven wants some experience.
Oz is not saving before these bosses.
That's a pretty confident move. Mom Bomb in the Plague location. Not easy per se, but it's not going to be the most problematic. Especially not at these levels. Access to Bahamut. Access to the Zerker Spoony Bard. Zerk Spoonword. Gonna do the work.
Either of them checked the shop, so they didn't get those sirens, which is also maybe why we see Draven out the trap chest.
Draven grinding on trap chests.
Definitely a lot of experience for her.
She doesn't have 10 key items, but definitely has there's definitely enough experience coming out of this fight to make it worth it for sure.
Oz decides to save after that fight.
Thank you, Pause. Thank you. Here we go, everybody. Here we go. This ribbon chest fight, and it is Trollbez. Ha ha ha! Is that it? Now. Is that 3 adamant armors that I see in play right there, or is that 2 adamants and a ribbon?
I don't know if we saw a third adamant until we just. I think we're probably looking at 2 adamants and a ribbon.
Well, regardless, that's instant death protection right there. And that pretty much neuters the Shadow Dragon. Well, we got somebody in chat saying it's 3 adamants.
Adamants, wow. That really decreases the chance that Oz is going to go back and get her 4th adamant armor. That would be pretty insane.
That being said, there's something kind of cool about having 4 adamant armors for this fight.
Make it fairly entertaining and fairly easy.
Yeah, like a hot knife through butter. Spoonword dealing the damage.
Chris not being as scary as you might expect it to be.
Yeah, all it's going to take is a single target cure. There it is. Team Kane Needs MP has finished with a combined time of 4 hours, 23 minutes, and 30 seconds. Neon Gray getting in the mix. 36th place. Neon Gray, famous for needing Kane to have a Soma drop in his life. And Paz just chews right through him. Sees the firebomb in the first chest, is like, come on. Then she sees the legend sword in the other chest and says, now we're talking. Immediate exit. It's time to go back to home.
Hours and 18 minutes. Their team.
Finally in go mode.
Wait to that spot, or if we're gonna see a little more grinding.
It all depends, really. It all depends on where Draven feels she is at in this moment.
Right, only coming up with charm arrows.
I'll see her making her way right out of the path. I have a feeling that we're going to see a save. An immediate walk into the ribbon chest. There's your cabin. It blew my mind the first time I saw somebody pick up something out of that bookshelf, by the way. I had no idea that was a thing.
I actually just learned it this race myself.
Always learn something every time I do this. And Troll Bez coming out. Pause RPG has her crystal. It's go time. And you got to think that, level 60 being the lowest level that she's at right here, don't think that there's going to be a whole lot more grinding in her future. It's probably just go, 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 eh?
Oh, it is time to take that whale back to the moon.
She can remember where she parked, and there it is. Oh, that's tough. Draven took two very, very tough shots right there. Both of her big physical damage users right there taken down.
Luckily, Rosa doesn't wipe to the virus and must have an adamant on because.
Oh yes, we got 3 adamants up there too as well, I believe.
Wow.
Oh yeah, that elemental damage doesn't mean a fig. Oh! Rosa takes a really tough shot though. Bad damage roll takes her down.
While Pause is making the fast work to walk all the way back to Zeromus. Doubt many people saw that pass this time.
We've got Spoonword and Bahamut Rydia taking down Golbez. A very unlikely duo.
Oh!
Oh! Come on,
Oh.
Spoonword! Come on, Spoonword! Hey,
last
Spoonword
hit.
gets it done!
Wow.
Spoonword gets it done, baby.
It's that useless firebomb and then that legend.
That fight was clinch.
Oh. That's one for the record books.
And we got the Crystal Walk happening right now with Pause RPG. It's go time.
Now the question is, do you think Draven, who isn't quite at the levels that Pause has gotten to, is going to take any time to grind? Or are we going to see a pretty risky Zeromus stat?
I would imagine we're going to see Draven grind here. I would imagine. Yeah, level 37 Rosa is what we're looking at right there. No, that wasn't level 37 Rosa. That was level 40 Rosa. Still, barely in Cure 4 territory. 42, yeah. Yeah, those are moderately decent levels to be at, but still very risky for Zeromus. I don't know that you're going to see Draven take that kind of a here. Probably just going to grind up about 5 or 6 more levels, and then it's go time.
We also see Pause putting Kane in the middle. Interesting choice. I have to ask her why she put Kane in the middle. Probably
I would
is
imagine it has
another
something to
thing.
do with a white lance and an adamant armor, and the center slot getting a bonus to hit rate, which gives you a bonus to damage. Look at those hit points. 4,400 hit points.
Definitely not going to be afraid of anything coming out of Zeromus here.
Yeah, Sid's got 5,600 hit points. Edward has over 2,000 hit points. This is not a fight where you're going to see a whole lot of worries about, I even knew it was coming and it still got me. So we got some hybrid strats going on here. We got hybrid reflect strats. And Zerk Spoonward.
It was dealing some nasty damage.
6,000. Pretty good. There's your Bacchus wines. 9,200 damage out of that reflected nuke.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see at most one big bang.
Oh, if.
This amount of damage.
There we go. Draven's up there grinding on some eggs. Making some omelet. Didn't see that she had any sirens.
I guess
There it
they
is.
did stop at the
29
moon.
sirens. I didn't see her pick them up. What is Paws looking for here? Is she thinking about going Artemis? Nah, keep that reflect nuke up.
Amazing.
It's always so fun to see this.
We haven't seen the first shake. Wow.
I think we just saw the phase change too, because I saw a hesitation. Oh, nope. Big bang. There it is.
Not even gonna phase this party.
Well, Kane takes a big hit, but kind of looks up and says, yeah, whatever.
Keep it going.
Yeah, this is the quintessence of going all in right here. Boink. Bam. 7380.
Another huge nuke coming
Boink.
from Rydia.
Bam. 7684. There's
6,000
Spoonward.
just from a spoon.
Yeah, Spoonward's taking him down 6,000 at a time.
And we're seeing the closest thing to a defensive strategy with our first cure. So few cares about anything that Zeromus has to throw.
I mean, when you got 5,600 hit points on your Sid, it's pretty much a done deal right there. This is a melting of Zeromus. Question is, are we even going to see Meteo phase coming out of this one?
We haven't gotten quite to that phase, but oh, and we don't even see it. Wow.
No, we sure aren't.
Holy.
Shake, rattle, and roll. Pause RPG is done. Official time, 2 hours, 29 minutes, 19 seconds, and G to the G on that one. We are talking about medio phase. Pauses like what medio? That was a steamrolling. Meanwhile, up in the upper right-hand corner, we've got Draven still making omelets. Got 3,100 hit points on her Kane, 3,859 on her Sid. We're getting pretty close to a go time for Draves. DJ says Medio phase closed on Saturday. I think we're gonna wait for Draven to be done before we actually have a chat, because they're probably still right now. Draven's still just grinding away at those omelets. It's always interesting to note about this is that as you go up in levels, you can actually put yourself in danger of getting hit pretty hard by Yellow D if you don't hit that egg in one shot. If you end up hitting the Yellow D when it's out of the shell, it can hit you with a thunder. That thunder, I believe, is fractional damage. Draven looks like she's done with that grind, though, and it's time. Time to go to the moon. Gonna lay down a save. Go on up. One of the really nice things the board face did right off the bat when it was making the randomizer is usually you have to see that animation of all 8 crystals shining. Not so, just the 2 bottom ones, and then you're good. Draven's got a little bit of a lower level right now than we saw Pause RPG. This Z fight is not going to be quite as free as the one that we... Draven's been playing this game for quite some time. It's going to be A-okay.
So, sorry I cut out there for a moment.
Hey, welcome back, DK.
Ravenheart, what does she have to go into this fight? 50s?
Got levels in the low 50s right now, which is a pretty safe place to be. Changing to formation. Just checking out her agilities. Okay, so we've got Sid with 21 agility. Thinking about that dwarf axe. That looks a little bit tastier. 16 agility.
That's a good place to be.
It's not 14, but it's pretty darn close, and that's all you can hope for here. Let's see if Draven remembers to unequip that dwarf axe and throw back on the rune axe. I know I forget.
I think that was Rex's problem as well. Left that rune axe on Kane, and then just kind of ran with it. Not that Zeromus difficulties for him.
There's a reason why we call this the Walk of Shame. If you don't have the pass, it takes a while for sure. Taking one last look at her inventory. Putting all of her fighters in the front row, and it's go, go, go. Here we go, and she gets to find out that Zeromus's true form is actually really terrifying.
You had a chance to play Octopath Traveler?
I have not as of yet, no.
It's pretty good. Haven't had a chance to play it myself. You though.
I've heard nothing but good things about it so far, and that there are several stories.
I feel like we get to see Octopath Traveler beaten today, though, so maybe
That's
we
right.
don't need to play it.
Looking for that rune axe. Nope.
Didn't put it on yet.
Oh, a double shake from Zeromus. That does not portend good things. Looking at a pretty weak relative agility setup. Oh.
Yeah, that is a fast shake. And I don't think we saw the
Oh my
shake.
goodness.
Oh, this is going to be a painful fight. Not see Dravenheart turn down her battle speed. So we're going to have a difficult fight ahead of us.
That didn't switch out that dwarf axe. Oh, goodness me. Those big bangs are coming out fierce and hot.
I would have thought that 16 agility would have been much better.
Yeah, the relative agility calculator for this game, enigmatic is a word I would use for it. I don't fully understand it at all. The difference between 14 and 15 agility for your anchor seems to be it can be minuscule or massive depending on what everyone.
I know that 13 agility can be worlds worse than 14, but I didn't think that going a little higher. I know that going a little higher is supposed to be better.
Well, pound for pound, so you can take a beating right here. It's going to take all the Bacchus wine in the world But I think Sid, Kane, Rosa can get this done.
I just hope for her sake that she has an ether or an elixir, because Rose is going to eat through those Cure 4s quickly.
Pretty fast, yeah. But with only 3 characters to heal, too, that Cure 4 is basically a full heal for everybody.
What's interesting is we haven't seen her throw out a single silk web either.
Looks like here she's waiting for that big bang.
Vast Zeromus is not being very nice.
Yeah, Fast Zeromus is very fast.
Wondering if maybe she doesn't know that she can switch the rune axe back out. And here we see the silk web. Oh,
I think she was trying to time a silk web to nerf that big bang. Hesitated just a little too much. Oh, this could be disastrous, actually.
oh, we're
Okay,
into the
that's a
nuke
decent
phase.
target. Close.
Good news for her is we know that she's taken out at least of half of Zeromus's, and the strat's working for her.
Yeah, slowly but surely this is happening.
I have no doubts that she'll pull this one out.
Playing double dutch with that big bang. Got a few more shots in there.
She can cast Cure 4 at least 4 more times.
That was a really good roll on that Cure 4, too. Everybody for like 3,000. Still only in phase 1.
Oh, the nuke was the counter nuke.
Oh, yeah.
Came after the Big Bang, so it confused me for a moment.
It was the counter nuke after the silk web.
Yeah.
But that silk web is actually working a whole lot right now.
But we do have the ether too. That's good news.
Fantastic. Gonna pop that ether 2 right now. Ring.
Good enough for 4 more castings.
And 2K a shot. Kane and Sid are each whittling him down. That's an odd choice.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that was. Now, was that a counter to the Hourglass 3? I don't think so, because there was an action between it.
it was not a counter to the Hourglass 3.
Okay, so good. We are into the second phase.
She keeps passing by that rune axe, and I'm like, equip it, please. Burning through those casts of Cure 4 quite fast. She's going to want to be a little more conservative if she wants to get through this fight at the rate that she's going right now. Ooh, nice crit.
We got 3 Cure 4s left. This is going to be dicey. I think she did have some Ether 1s, though.
I saw Ether 1s. I thought I saw an Elixir in there too. I could be wrong.
An Elixir definitely would change the nervousness of this fight. Oh, and we're into Medio.
Yeah, here it comes. Here it comes. Medio. 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 Shake. Rattle and roll. And that's it for Dravenheart right there. Finished. Time of 2 hours, 46 minutes, and 16 seconds. And that is Team Mystic Cheese. Full on time of 5 hours, 15 minutes, and 35 seconds. And here we are. That's all 4 of our restreamers right there. See if we can get them in for a little old interview.
Sounds like a plan.
It is the lady, my mistress, Dravenheart. Draven, GG's, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Slog of a Zeromus fight, but you got through it. That was some grit that took you through that fight. Well done.
That was pure determination that I'm not gonna wipe.
That's right. And that is what we like to see. And Pause RPG is in. Congrats, Pause. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. So that seed took you girls all over the place. Tell me a little bit about how you were.
We were getting to the point where we checked essentially everything. We were scratching our heads, and so I said to her, well, we haven't found D-Mist, so I'm going to climb the tower, maybe the trolley seed ever, and it's Derek right before the Earth Crystal with the Earth Crystal. And I managed to pop the chest before there, and it was the Darkness Crystal. All right, let's go to the moon.
Yeah. So when you're on the moon, I saw you two sort of split up a little bit, and I believe you were tackling chests while Draven was tackling moon bosses. Was that sort of routed on the fly, or did you guys end up doing that with a sort of a predetermined formula? Tell me a little bit about that.
It's something that we've generally done when we've practiced. I'm pretty comfortable doing the treasure chest. I grabbed a big handful of Hourglass 3s before I went up there.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that if I berserked Edward, it would be about 4 hits for every Bahamut. So I felt good doing the chests.
Mm-hmm. All right, Draven, when you were going after those moon bosses and you heard that you had to fight troll in order to get your legend sword, what was going through your mind on that?
I was thinking, but I figured since I had 3 adamant armors that I'd be okay. So
Well, you won it by a Spoony Bard, as I recall.
Spoony Bard hype.
Yeah, Spoony Bard hype. That was an insane kill of Golbez. That was probably the most exciting of all finishes that we saw today. I was so clenched.
Well, I'm glad that I could hopefully provide some entertainment for everyone tonight.
No, it's absolutely wonderful. So, as you're going through these seeds, and you're sort of routing it out with each other, what are you girls saying to each other during this? What sort of information do you find is the most useful? Like, are you concise? Do you expound on things? Like, what do you guys communicate to each other first and foremost?
There's a lot of swearing.
Not so much for me, but
I love it.
We try to if there's any items that are of importance, then we try to get that across. And and I have my notebook, so I write stuff down as I go.
I played only a small amount of vanilla Final Fantasy IV. I'd actually never even beaten the game until I started playing a free enterprise. So I have to kind of get creative with my descriptions about where all the trap chests are.
Right.
Like, you go through the teleporter and then you have to cast float, and then there's 6 chests. It's at the top right one. Go there.
And I have been playing and beating Final Fantasy IV since 1991 when I was like 7 years old. So it was like I'm trying to explain all these spots, and Paz is like, huh? What is that?
That's great.
What's the Ogopogo spot?
Right. That's the one on the Crystal Path.
I know that now.
Right. DK, you seemed like you wanted to ask something. You have something, DK?
Yeah, so Draven, we were watching your Rosa MP closely near the end of that Zeromus fight. It was starting to look touch and go whether or not you were going to have enough Cure 4s. Did you have elixirs, or was that it?
I had an elixir that I used in a previous fight, and then I had a cure or an ether 2, and then I had bought some ether ones for backup just in case.
All right, so you weren't getting as nervous as we were. We saw your MP ticking down, and we're starting to wonder.
I'm like, I got this. It'll be slow and steady, but I got this.
That was a very fast Zeromus you were fighting.
Yeah, I didn't count on agility so much, but I made it through. So
Yeah, you made it through, and yeah, it was just it was beat in, beat out, pretty much. You were just punching away, and it was shot for shot the whole way. It was really entertaining to watch. Pause, Draven. Any final thoughts before we send it off?
Trap chest seeds are evil.
very evil.
Pause. We need to get you in here more. Outstanding. Well, thank you both very much. DK, do you have any final thoughts?
I just want to thank our Natara and our restreamer Tarasu one last time, and thank you Muppets for co-commentating with me.
Absolutely, and thank you too, DK. It's been an absolute pleasure working with you. I'm sure I'll see you around, and here, we're going to send you all to Invenerable. See what Inven's doing right here. Everybody have a good night, and I will see you all next time.
And
Bye,
just
everyone.
a warning for anyone watching that he is mature warning, so take that in mind.